Hello, everyone, and welcome to this course on emotional intelligence for executive leaders. Let's start with a definition of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EI, refers to the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence our own emotions and those of others. It emphasizes that emotions are not just personal experiences, but valuable data, valuable information that can inform our decision making. It also informs our relationships and our performance, as well as the performance of those we lead. Daniel Goleman's 1995 book on emotional intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, popularized the concept, framing it as a set of skills that often outperform traditional IQ in predicting success, especially in leadership role. Now, this is a good time to pause for a moment and look at what emotional intelligence really is, because when we hear the word intelligence, we think of IQ generally. And the thing about IQ is that you can have your IQ tested at 21 years of age, 31, 41, 51, 80 years of age, and barring any significant trauma or cognitive decline that is sometimes associated with old age, your scores and IQ test will remain relatively the same. That's not true for emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence scores, and there's various assessments, can vary widely from one time to another of taking the assessment. And that's because emotional intelligence isn't an inherent trait like IQ is. You can't become more intelligent over time. You can become wiser in the way you process information, but your IQ will stay relatively the same. But EI or EQ, your emotional intelligence quotient, can change over time. And the reason for that is emotional intelligence is a set of skills that you can develop over time and become better at. So it's important to recognize that distinction. And so maybe intelligence wasn't the greatest moniker to attach to this concept, but it's what we know it as today. So we'll stick with it. We'll move with it. Now, Goleman's model outlines 5 core principles or components of emotional intelligence, which have become foundational in psychology, business, and education. Now, it might be worth mentioning here that not all psychology embraces emotional intelligence. For example, personality psychology adamantly emphasizes that the 5-factor model of personality actually explains many of these things. But having said that, let's dive into what these 5 principles of emotional intelligence are. The first is self-awareness, which is the foundation of EI, involving a deep understanding of your own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, values, and motivations. It includes recognizing how emotions affect thoughts and behavior in real time. For instance, a self-aware individual might notice rising frustration during a debate and pause to reflect before responding. Number 2 is self-regulation. This is building on self-awareness. This principle focuses on managing disruptive emotions and impulses. It involves staying in control of your emotions, adapting to change, and maintaining integrity under pressure. Techniques like mindfulness or cognitive reframing help here, allowing individuals to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Number 3 is motivation, and this goes beyond external rewards, emphasizing intrinsic drive, passion for work, optimism, and resilience in the face of setbacks. Motivated people pursue goals with energy and persistence, often viewing challenges as opportunities for growth. Number 4 is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, considering their perspectives without judgment. It includes emotional empathy, or feeling what others feel. It involves cognitive empathy, understanding someone else's viewpoint. And this principle is key for building trust and resolving conflicts. And finally, we have social skills, which is proficiency in managing relationships, communicating effectively, inspiring others, and working collaboratively. This encompasses leadership, persuasion, and conflict management, and turns empathy and self-regulation into actionable and interpersonal dynamics. Together, these principles are interconnected, and weakness in one area can undermine others, while strengths create a multiplier effect. Now let's talk about what's happened with the concept of emotional intelligence in the years following Daniel Goleman's original work. In the 2000s, we had some investigation into integrating emotional intelligence with neuroscience. Advances in brain imaging, such as MRI, validated emotional intelligence's biological basis, showing how emotional regulation strengthens neural pathways for better decision-making. Researchers like Richard Davison linked EI to mindfulness practices that rewire the brain for resilience. In the 2010s, we had some critiques and some refinements. Critics argued that his model was too broad and overlapped with personality traits, or the Big Five, or the five-factor model of personality. So in response, models like the Mayer-Solovey-Caruso emotional intelligence test, known as the MSCEIT, emphasized pure abilities over traits. Goleman himself updated his framework based on this in later works, such as Primal Leadership, which he published in 2002. And it included emotional styles influenced by neuroplasticity. In the 2020s, EI incorporated cultural intelligence, digital empathy, which means remote work, and applications in AI ethics and mental health. Some examples are, during the COVID-19 pandemic, EI was linked to adaptive leadership in hybrid environments. And adaptive leadership integrates with a concept known as constructive development. Recent research from organizations like the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence has extended EI to education, and DEI initiatives emphasizing collective emotional awareness in diverse teams. Tools like the EQI 2.0 provide psychometric assessments, and EI training has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, with meta-analyses showing models but significant improvements in job performance. So overall, emotional intelligence has shifted from a niche psychological concept to a mainstream competency framework, with Goleman's popularization serving as the pivotal bridge. So we might ask at this point, why is EI crucial for executives in high-stake environments? In high-stake environments and in high-stakes settings like boardrooms and strategic planning, where decisions involve multi-million-dollar risks, market volatility, and team dynamics under pressure, EI is not a nice-to-have, but it's become a critical edge. Traditional skills like analytical prowess, technical expertise, are table stakes, but EI differentiates leaders who thrive from those who falters. So a good summary of that is that technical skills, hard skills are necessary, but EI skills soften the edge, make us more human, and make it easier to relate to others and for others to relate to us. Now, some concepts we should consider that EI will help is navigating uncertainty and stress. Boardrooms often involve ambitious data and high-pressure negotiations. Self-awareness and self-regulation help executives manage anxiety, avoid knee-jerk reactions, and maintain their composure. Staying calm under pressure is essential to any executive leader. For example, during a merger discussion, an executive with high EI might recognize their bias towards optimism and seek counter arguments, leading to more balanced strategies. And the truth is that when you're developing high stakes strategies, you must consider both the most positive outcomes and the most negative outcomes so that you can plan for all contingencies. Next is building and influencing relationships. Strategic planning requires collaboration across diverse stakeholders, investors, employees, regulators. Empathy and social skills enable executives to read nonverbal cues, to anticipate objections, and foster emotionally intelligent executives. Research from Harvard Business Review indicates that teams led by emotionally intelligent executives show a 20 to 30% higher productivity and lower turnover. Next, we come to driving innovation and change. Motivation in EI fuels resilience, turning setbacks, such as failed product launches, into learning opportunities. And that's an important perspective, that every failure is actually a learning opportunity so that we don't repeat that failure. In volatile markets, executives use EI to inspire teams, communicate vision, and adapt plans dynamically. Without it, leaders risk alienating talent or missing subtle market signals from customer feedback. Next, we have ethical decision-making and risk management. See, high-stake environments amplify ethical dilemmas. EI promotes perspective taking, reducing groupthink in boardrooms and ensuring decisions consider human impacts. Studies from McKinsey highlight that EI correlates with better crisis management. And this is seen in leaders who navigated the 2008 financial crisis or recent supply chain disruptions by prioritizing employee well-being alongside profits. So in essence, EI equips executives to humanize data-driven processes, turning potential conflicts into competitive advantages. Goldman has noted in a high IQ job pool, soft skills like discipline, drive, and empathy mark those who emerge as outstanding. So in today's fast-paced, interconnected world, ignoring emotional intelligence can lead to costly missteps, while mastering it builds sustainable success. So let's join together in this journey, and let's really dive in to an executive level course on emotional intelligence.